The 7th time, when the doctor announced her accidental miscarriage again, I didn't rush to comfort her as I had the previous 6 times. I threw the cold divorce papers onto her hospital room bed. "Amber Miller, we're getting a divorce," she screamed, calling me a scumbag, accusing me of ingratitude. The contemptuous gazes in the hospital room almost pierced me. She didn't know I had already discovered her miscarriage. The secret. Amber Miller watched with satisfaction as everyone pointed and whispered about me. "Didn't you hear? If you dare divorce me, everyone will talk behind your back." Just then, Ethan Hayes, her intern, came over to help her, his voice full of concern. "Amber, why are you up? Please lie down. The doctor said you're weak and need to rest. Did you finish your comforting warm drink? Shall I make you another cup?" Amber Miller clearly enjoyed his attention. "Ethan is so good to me. Unlike that heartless Alexander Stone, he wants to divorce me just because I had a miscarriage. Only you care for and look after me. Without you, I don't know what I'd do." She seemed to have suffered the greatest injustice, which made Ethan comfort her even more gently. "Amber, don't be sad. No matter what happens, I'll be by your side. Right now, your health is most important. How about this? I'll immediately take leave and go with you to the tropical resort island to clear your mind," Amber Miller said happily. "That's wonderful. Thank you, Ethan." Watching their overly affectionate display, those who had just spoken up for her were stunned. A dull ache spread in my heart, and I finally spoke the words I had suppressed for so long. "Amber Miller, whether you truly miscarried or simply didn't want to have my child, you know the truth. You deliberately had 7 miscarriages just to enjoy Ethan Hayes' unconditional care. Did you think I knew nothing?" Amber Miller was startled by my sudden outburst, but quickly recovered. "Alexander Stone, don't talk nonsense. Ethan and I have nothing going on between us. He's the most innocent person I've ever met. Not only did he transplant his kidney to me, but he also took meticulous care of me. I won't allow you to slander him like that." Ethan Hayes also lifted a feigned aggrieved face. "Mr. Stone, you really misunderstand me. I am grateful to Amber for sponsoring me through college and giving me an internship at the company. I just want to repay her. Please don't let me affect your relationship." Amber Miller saw his eyes redden with worry and held him affectionately to soothe him. Then she glared at me fiercely. "Alexander Stone, are you satisfied? Let me tell you, I consider Ethan Hayes my younger brother. If you say another word, I won't let you off the hook." Watching her defend Ethan Hayes so vehemently, the scar on my lower back from the kidney removal surgery began to throb. I didn't want to say anything more to her. I left her with one last sentence and turned to leave. "Look over the divorce papers. If there are no issues, sign them quickly." Ethan Hayes was a university student sponsored by Amber Miller, and he came to the company for an internship after graduation. Everything was normal until Amber Miller developed kidney failure. I didn't hesitate to transplant one of my kidneys to her, but after she recovered, she showed no gratitude towards me. Instead, she believed I was deceiving her, insisting it was Ethan Hayes who gave her the kidney, so she quickly promoted Ethan Hayes to an assistant position by her side. I advised her it wasn't proper procedure, but she was insistent, even saying, "I helped you build this company from scratch through entrepreneurship. I have a stake in it, and I have the right to decide who my assistant is." After that, Amber Miller started having frequent miscarriages, and after each one, she would have Ethan Hayes accompany her to the tropical resort island for a month-long vacation. I saw the intimate photos they posted on social media and had my suspicions, but Amber Miller always explained, "I miscarried for you. You don't have time to be with me, so I can only turn to Ethan Hayes." Out of guilt, I suppressed my doubts and indulged her, until I personally overheard Amber Miller telling her best friend, "I lost all feelings for Alexander Stone a long time ago. It's with Ethan Hayes that I found the feeling of first love again. This baby inside me will be faked as an accidental miscarriage. Just like before, Alexander Stone will feel guilty, and give me a large sum of money, which he'll then give to Ethan Hayes. He'll never be able to repay him for what I owe him." Only then did I learn the truth about Amber Miller's 7 miscarriages. This time, I had reached my breaking point. I decided to divorce her and never forgive her. Before I even received the divorce papers, I got a call from Amber Miller. Her voice was urgent. "Ethan Hayes is gone. It's all because your words scared him away. Do you have any idea how important he is to me? I am telling you, if anything happens to him, you can just wait for me to call the police and have them arrest you." Shortly after hanging up, Ethan Hayes came to my office carrying a box. He said, "Mr. Stone, I am resigning." I scoffed, willing to resign. Ethan Hayes no longer looked obedient. a hint of defiance in his eyes. I am willing. It's Amber Miller, who might not be. His provocation infuriated me. I couldn't help but step forward and grab his collar, wanting to punch him hard in the face. Just then, Amber Miller suddenly burst in. She clawed at my face like a madwoman, shielding Ethan Hayes behind her. Alexander Stone, if you have the guts, come at me instead. Ethan Hayes gave me his kidney. If you hit him, hitting me. I touched my stinging cheek and told her one last time, Amber Miller, the kidney in your body is mine. Amber Miller cut me off, saying furiously, are you going to claim it's your kidney again? Alexander Stone, have some decency. Is it fun to tell such an obvious lie? Ethan Hayes has a scar from surgery on his body, and he insisted on taking care of me after my surgery despite his own health. These are all facts. Where were you then? You only cared about your work. That's not true. When Amber Miller had her kidney transplant, I was also in the hospital room due to a post-surgical infection. I didn't want her to worry, so I never told her about it. I never expected Ethan Hayes to have taken advantage of the situation, and Amber Miller believed him without a doubt. I had no strength left to explain to her. Whatever I said, she wouldn't believe it now. Sighing deeply, I calmed myself. Forget it. Let's just do this. Amber Miller, let's get a divorce. Amber Miller saw the determination on my face, and froze for a moment before she could speak. Ethan Hayes spoke first. Amber, the kidney was my voluntary choice, but I truly don't want to affect your relationship with Mr. Stone. Please let me resign. As long as Mr. Stone is at the company, I can't bear to stay. Amber Miller felt heartbroken for his thoughtfulness, gently patted his shoulder, her gaze firm. This company isn't just his. As long as I am here, no one will dare to touch you. She turned to me and said coldly, fine, Alexander Stone, you want a divorce, don't you? I own most of the shares in this company. Give me the company and leave with nothing, and I'll agree. I looked at Amber Miller in disbelief, never imagining she could be so heartless. This company was built from scratch through entrepreneurship by me. She knew how much effort I had poured into it over the years. Because she had endured so many hardships with me back then, I had always been very generous and forgiving towards her. She felt insecure, so I gave her more than half of the company's shares. When her life was in danger, I gave her my kidney. Now, she was actually using that to force me out of the company. Seeing that I didn't speak, Amber Miller sneered, hey, reluctant to hand over. If you don't want to be kicked out of the company, then you'd better behave yourself from now on. And you'll have to raise Ethan Hayes' salary to be on par with the company's veterans. You'll also have to give all the good projects you're working on to him. I gave up completely, and said in a deep voice, I agree. Amber Miller and I finally signed the divorce papers. She not only removed me from the company, but also took our joint assets, the house and the car. I lost everything and was penniless. When I left the company, employees came to say their goodbyes. Amber Miller couldn't stand it. She and Ethan Hayes blocked the crowd, emphasizing, Alexander Stone is no longer the CEO of the company. He's a penniless nobody now. Anyone who dares to see him off will be fired from the company along with him. Ethan Hayes, with barely concealed triumph, said, oh, Amber, I just noticed the company seal is missing. Could it be that Mr. Stone was reluctant to hand over and secretly took it? Amber Miller feigned surprise for a moment, then smiled, letting him torment me. What? Someone. Strip him down and search him. The security guards hesitated, not daring to act. So Ethan Hayes arrogantly threatened, listen closely, he's no longer your esteemed Mr. Stone, still not moving. Do you want to lose your jobs along with him? Two security guards had no choice but to roughly push me to the ground and start tearing at my clothes. I struggled and resisted ceaselessly, but they still tore my shirt and pulled off my belt. Amber Miller looked down at my disheveled state and smiled in satisfaction. Alexander Stone, look at yourself now, you're like a dog. But it's too late for regrets now. After the security guards searched me thoroughly from head to toe in front of everyone and still couldn't find the company seal, Ethan Hayes finally pulled it out of his pocket and said with a false smile, it's right here. My mistake. I was just too careless to see it. Please don't mind, Mr. Stone. Amidst their laughter, I stared intently into Amber Miller's eyes and gritted my teeth. Amber Miller, you'll regret treating me so mercilessly. All I got was a disdainful sneer from her. Alexander Stone, you're the one who should regret it. I've decided to marry Ethan Hayes the day after tomorrow. and then we'll go abroad for our honeymoon. He's sacrificed so much for me. I intend to be responsible for the rest of his life. I knew I had done everything I could for Amber Miller. Let her walk her own path from now on. Then I wish you two were eternally bound, leaving the company in disgrace. I wandered the street penniless. Suddenly, a car pulled up beside me. The window rolled down, revealing Sophia Thompson, the billionaire magnate's daughter. She smiled and said to me, "Alexander Stone, I hear you left with nothing." I nodded awkwardly. "You found out so quickly," she said directly. "I saw it on someone's social media post, so I hurried right over to find you. Get in the car first. It'll take you to see my dad." It turned out that her father, Richard Thompson, had once collaborated with me, and greatly admired my ability and integrity. He wanted to recruit me to be a manager at their company. I was very grateful for the opportunity he offered me when I had nowhere left to turn, and I readily accepted. As I left, I said to Sophia Thompson, "Thank you very much for your help. You've given me a chance at a new life, and I will certainly do my best from now on." Sophia Thompson, however, smiled openly. "Don't be so polite. It's your ability that earned my dad's approval. I just acted quickly to snatch you up. With your capabilities, many companies would surely want to recruit you." She paused, then said generously, "However, I do like you a bit. Since you're already divorced, would you consider my pursuit?" I slowly drank a cup of coffee and apologized. "I am sorry, but I am not in the mood for romance right now. Let's talk about it later." She wasn't angry. Instead, she was very pleased. "You didn't disappoint me after all. I wouldn't want you to agree to date me just for personal gain either. How about this? The day after tomorrow, my father is hosting an exclusive private gathering, and all the industry magnates will be there. It'll take you to experience it." Such gatherings couldn't be attended without an introduction, as they were filled with valuable connections. I gladly agreed. "That's truly wonderful." Coincidentally, the location of the gathering was the same as Amber Miller's wedding. When I arrived, I ran right into Amber Miller and Ethan Hayes. Amber Miller saw me, her lips curling into a sarcastic smile. "Alexander Stone, I knew you still couldn't let go of me, but let me tell you, it's too late. You were the one who initiated the divorce. Even if you knelt and begged me now, I wouldn't go back. I am marrying Ethan Hayes, no doubt about it." Ethan Hayes also put his arm around Amber Miller's shoulder, and said in a defiant tone, "Today is Amber's and my wedding. If you know what's good for you, get lost quickly and don't cause any trouble. If you insist on staying, I don't mind having someone throw you out." I looked at Amber Miller, still completely oblivious to Ethan Hayes' deception, and found her utterly ridiculous, but I no longer wanted to interfere. I said in a deep voice, "You've misunderstood. I am going to the second-floor VIP lounge. It has nothing to do with you." Amber Miller acted as if she'd heard a joke. "Going to the second-floor VIP lounge? That's the private gathering of the billionaire magnate Thompson family. What are you going to do there? Be a waiter? Do you think he's still the CEO, and everyone would give you respect? Alexander Stone, face reality, you're penniless nobody now." I didn't want to get tangled up with them anymore. Once I achieved something significant again, I would prove them wrong. Just then, a woman's voice drifted over, who said, "Mr. Stone is a penniless nobody. He's my father's honored guest." I looked in the direction of the voice. It was Sophia Thompson, descending from the second-floor VIP lounge. Amber Miller recognized her, first shocked, then seemingly realizing something. She said with a forced smile, "Ms. Thompson, you probably don't know this, but Alexander Stone has already been removed from the company. He's just an unemployed person now. You must have been fooled by his glib talk." Sophia Thompson walked straight towards me, linked her arm through mine, and said gracefully, "Of course I know. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to collaborate with Mr. Stone. You probably don't know this, but Mr. Stone has been appointed general manager of the main company by my father, so, in that sense, I should thank you, Ms. Miller, for letting him go. You have no idea how in demand he is." Her words left Amber Miller and Ethan Hayes stunned, their mouths agape. How is that possible? On what grounds? I gave Sophia Thompson a slight smile, thanking her for bailing me out. "Ms. Thompson, let's not waste time on irrelevant people. Let's go up." I walked with Sophia Thompson towards the second-floor VIP lounge. Amber Miller saw this scene and suddenly became inexplicably furious. "Alexander Stone, what's your relationship with her? Were you secretly involved with her all along?" I didn't answer her. only leaving her with my back. From now on, we would go our separate ways. Everything from the past would turn into distant memory. Amber Miller, on her side, held her wedding in a distracted manner. She couldn't help but recall her wedding with me many years ago. Every detail of that wedding was arranged by us personally, though we didn't have much money. I gave her the most beautiful wedding I possibly could. Back then, we were genuinely happy, but why had everything changed? After the wedding, Amber Miller received a call from the doctor, because she had undergone a kidney transplant. She had to go to the hospital for checkups periodically, and she had just been there a few days ago. The results were out today, and the doctor's voice came from the phone. Ms. Miller, your test results are out, and your kidney function is fine. Oh, and please remind your husband, Alexander Stone, to also come in for a checkup. Regular physicals help detect any issues in time. Amber Miller, holding onto her suppressed anger, said impatiently, contact him yourself. I divorced him. Whatever happens to him is none of my business. The doctor, accustomed to marital separations, responsibly emphasized again, I see, but I can't reach Mr. Stone. His phone isn't connecting. Given that he once donated a kidney to you, please let him know if you see him. Amber Miller found it incredibly amusing. Doctor, you must be mistaken. The person who transplanted a kidney to me was Ethan Hayes. What does Alexander Stone have to do with it? The doctor was somewhat surprised, and countered, I was your surgeon. I wouldn't make a mistake. Why do you think that? Amber Miller said impatiently, it was Ethan Hayes who gave me the kidney. He even has a scar on his lower back from the surgery. You must be mistaken. Alexander Stone is so selfish. It couldn't have been him. What did he give you to help him deceive me like this? After being questioned groundlessly several times, the doctor lost her patience. How dare you speak to me like that? I personally transplanted Mr. Stone's kidney into your body. All the surgical records are here. How could it be false? If you don't believe me, hospital assessment, and I'll personally examine him until he convinced. The doctor hung up, but Amber Miller couldn't smile anymore. She felt as if her heart was cemented shut, and breathing became difficult. Could what the doctor said be true? How could her kidney be Alexander Stone's? Impossible. She didn't believe it. Alexander Stone only cared about the company and money. He had long since stopped caring about her. Amber, come quickly. Amber Miller heard Ethan Hayes' voice, and looked up at his joy-filled face. At this moment, she felt no sweetness, only a rising wave of immense panic. She blurted out, Ethan Hayes, go to the hospital first and get a physical. Ethan Hayes' smile froze, then he asked with a forced laugh, Amber, today is our wedding day, a joyous occasion, why go to the hospital? Tonight, we're going to consummate the marriage, and I have a big surprise planned for you. Amber Miller thought he made a valid point. It wasn't strictly necessary to go today and ruin the wedding mood. She knew Ethan Hayes was very happy today, and had specially prepared gifts and surprises for her, but thinking of the possibility that the doctor was telling the truth, Amber Miller still insisted, we have to go now, it won't take much time, and I'll go with you after the checkup. I'll buy you that luxury car you like the most. A hint of panic flashed in Ethan Hayes' eyes, and his expression became unnatural. Amber, please stop. I've been terrified of doctors ever since my kidney removal surgery. Don't make this hard for me. We finally made it official today. Can we please not ruin this beautiful moment? His resistance fueled Amber Miller's growing suspicion. Her voice gradually turned cold. Ethan Hayes, do you not want to go, or are you afraid to go? Is there something you're hiding from me? Ethan Hayes' face turned pale under her questioning. He tried his best to act as if nothing was wrong. How could I be hiding anything from Amber? I just don't understand why we have to go today. After all, every moment of our wedding night is precious. I'd hate to waste any time today. Amber Miller softened her voice, but not an ounce of firmness left it. Ethan, listen to me. We must go today. He tried to refuse again, but Amber Miller had run out of patience. She had her bodyguards forcibly drag Ethan Hayes into the car. Along the way, Ethan Hayes said everything he could to persuade Amber Miller not to go to the hospital, even trying to find an opportunity to escape. But Amber Miller was resolute. As they got closer to the hospital, Ethan Hayes' face grew increasingly pale. Amber Miller's heart grew heavy. She even began to fear knowing the truth. At the hospital, after the examination, the doctor pointed to the scar on Ethan Hayes' lower back, and said to Amber Miller, this is fake. It's completely different from a post-surgical suture scar. It could only fool people with no common sense like you. Furthermore, He has both kidneys, and they are perfectly healthy. He couldn't possibly be the one who transplanted a kidney to you. Amber Miller froze instantly. What did you say? Her mind went blank. It took her a while to process the doctor's words. With trembling lips, she uttered a few words. Is my kidney really Alexander Stone's? The doctor gave her a sidelong glance. Otherwise, whose would it be? Aside from your parents and your husband, who would willingly harm their own body to save you? Amber Miller gave a desolate laugh. Haha. Yes, how could I have been so foolish? She slumped to the cold floor, clutching her head, and burst into heart-wrenching wails. Her heart-wrenching wails echoed in the hospital corridor for a long time. She was filled with profound regret now, having realized she had done so many things to hurt Alexander Stone. It was all Ethan Hayes' fault. He had deceived her so terribly. Amber Miller looked at Ethan Hayes, who was restrained by the bodyguards, with hatred in her eyes, and sharply questioned, Ethan Hayes, why did you lie to me? I sponsored you through college and even found you a job. Why did you repay kindness with ingratitude? Ethan Hayes knew the lie had been exposed and hastily explained, I am sorry, Amber, I was confused for a moment. It's because I liked you too much, and I wanted to be by your side. Even though I lied to you, my feelings were genuine. I truly wanted to marry you. Amber Miller slapped him hard and roared, what are you without that kidney? How dare you deceive me like this? I will make you pay a heavy price. Seeing her murderous gaze, Ethan Hayes was led away in terror. He cried, begging Amber Miller for forgiveness. But she didn't spare him another glance. Not long after I joined the Thompson family's company, employees from my former company began contacting me. They said the company had no future, and wanted to continue working under me, and they apologized for their previous inaction. I didn't blame them. They were just employees, relying on their boss for a salary to support their families. I looked at the new project I was working on. It happened to need some experienced employees, so I opened the door for them. Meanwhile, on Amber Miller's end, messages popped up on her phone one after another. They were resignation letters from employees. She couldn't count how many there were. It seemed as if the entire staff had resigned simultaneously. She rushed to the company, but it was already empty, and all the employees were gone. She anxiously called the employees, receiving a ruthless reply, sorry, we've gone to join Mr. Stone. The company is in chaos because of you and Ethan Hayes. It's impossible to stay. The company's core tech relied heavily on Alexander, and without him, there's no future. Then she received collection calls from the bank. Ethan Hayes had actually mortgaged the company. Amber Miller cursed him 1,000 times in her mind, but at the moment, she couldn't afford to go settle accounts with him. She dialed my phone again and again. After I accidentally answered once, she presumptuously said, Alexander Stone, I know it was your kidney you gave me. IVE sent Ethan Hayes away. I won't hold it against you for taking the company employees. Come back. Without saying a word, I hung up and blocked her number. Amber Miller couldn't reach me, and realized I wouldn't come back easily. She came to the Thompson family's company, and waited for me to leave work. When I did, she eagerly ran up to me, and said impatiently, I am sorry, honey, I was wrong about you. I just found out you were the one who gave me the kidney. It's all Ethan Hayes' fault for deceiving me. I was foolish to believe him. If you had told me earlier, I definitely wouldn't have hurt you like this. Now I know I was wrong. Please forgive me, honey. Our company needs you right now. Will you please come back with me? Amber Miller kept speaking softly, but I showed no emotion. I said in a deep voice, Amber Miller, we're divorced. Don't call me honey anymore. If you had even an ounce of trust in me, you wouldn't have ignored my countless explanations. Whether you know the truth now or not, it doesn't matter to me. It's all in the past. Just go. I tried to walk around her, but she clung to me tightly, refusing to let go. Tears streamed down her face as she cried, and said, Alexander Stone, have you forgotten our past together? I endured so many hardships with you. You said you would never betray me your entire life. How could you break your promise? I already know I was wrong. Why can't you forgive me? Watching her self-righteously bring up the past, I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. Amber Miller, I never betrayed you. I always did right by you when we were together. I gave you company shares, and I gave you a kidney when we divorced. I didn't take a single cent of the company or assets. You were the one who betrayed me. Now you say I was wrong, and expect me to forgive you. Let me tell you, there's no going back now. Face the consequences of your own actions. I forcefully pushed Amber Miller away, but she still wouldn't give up. I don't believe you don't love me at all anymore. just angry I didn't give you a child. I promise you, I'll bear as many children as you want. Suddenly, her words caught in her throat. She saw Sophia Thompson approach and kiss me on the cheek. I affectionately put my arm around her. Sophia Thompson looked at Amber Miller and said bluntly, "Oh, isn't this Alexander's ex-wife? Aren't you supposed to be on your honeymoon with your new husband? Why are you bothering my boyfriend here? What? Trying to come crawling back? Too late, he's mine now." Amber Miller pointed at her and asked me, seemingly unable to believe it, "Alexander Stone, what exactly is your relationship with her?" I looked at Sophia Thompson and said earnestly, "Sophia is my girlfriend now, and I love her very much. I hope you won't come looking for me again in the future. She'll be upset." Amber Miller's face twisted with rage, and she suddenly shrieked, "How could you find another woman? You slut, get out. Alexander Stone is my honey, get away from him. It's all because of you that he won't forgive me. I'll kill you." She lunged at Sophia Thompson. I shielded Sophia Thompson behind me, and forcefully pushed Amber Miller away. Amber Miller fell to the ground. Finally, realizing I no longer wanted her, she had nowhere left to turn and immediately burst into heart-wrenching wails. I didn't spare her another glance, telling the security guards to quickly come and escort her out, and I instructed them not to let her in again. A few days later, Amber Miller sent me a horrifying video from a different number. In the video, Ethan Hayes' limbs were tightly bound to a bed, and there wasn't a single unblemished spot on his body. He looked at the approaching Amber Miller with extreme terror, shouting loudly, "Help! Help! You lunatic! Will someone please call the police for me? Please!" Amber Miller, however, smiled eerily at the camera. "Honey, it's all Ethan Hayes' fault that we ended up like this. After I punish him, you won't be angry with me anymore. Didn't he trick me into thinking he gave me a kidney? I am going to cut out both of his kidneys right now." She picked up a sharp scalpel and unhesitatingly sliced open Ethan Hayes' lower back. She brutally removed both of his kidneys, and blood immediately gushed onto the floor. Ethan Hayes went from struggling frantically at first to becoming weak and dying later, having no strength left. Amber Miller was terrifying at that moment. Her face was splattered with blood, yet she wore a crazed smile. She held up the 2 kidneys in front of the camera, her voice strangely tender. "Honey, look, 2 kidneys, we can each have one, okay? That way, you won't be mad at me anymore. Come home, and we can go back to how things were. I swear, I'll never believe anyone else again." As she spoke, her voice became sharper again. "Alexander Stone, why can't you forgive me? Come back to me, or I'll go find Sophia Thompson and remove her kidney for you." I couldn't watch any longer and immediately dialed the police. The police searched many places before finally apprehending Amber Miller. Ethan Hayes had long since died, both his kidneys removed, and the blood covering the floor horrified everyone present. Investigations revealed that Ethan Hayes had embezzled a large sum of money in Amber Miller's name and planned to escape. As a result, all of Amber Miller's assets were seized by the bank to repay the debts. After catching Ethan Hayes, she imprisoned him in an abandoned warehouse. After severing his tendons and torturing him for several days, she removed his kidneys. Clinic's mental state had been severely affected, turning her into a lunatic. After she was confined to the psychiatric hospital, she constantly mumbled, "Honey, why haven't you forgiven me yet?" I stopped paying attention to any news about her. Sophia Thompson and I got married 6 months later, and a year after our marriage, she gave birth to a pair of adorable twins. I also achieved success at the company, earning the respect of the veteran employees, who had initially been skeptical. After Richard Thompson retired, he personally designated me as his successor, and I, remembering his kindness, managed the businesses even better than before. I was truly devoted to Sophia Thompson and the children. We would live happily ever after.